Hashtag Undisputed Live. Here we go with the first tweet from Ant, who is obviously a 49er fan. Micah, bro, sit down and prepare for the playoffs until your team beats the 49ers. Please keep our athletes out your mouth.
Is that Fred Warner?
Yeah, pointing at Dak.
Oh, that's a 49er fan for sure.
I'd say.
49er fans, when you get to talk about them, they get mad.
Bad boy, that boy.
This is from Coach Edwards, friend of show. Keyshawn, the real cat burglar for all Dallas Cowboy fans, hopes this season. Yeah, it's true.
You ain't stepping on the toys.
I think you're stealing.
No, you can't step on the toys, man. Just be quiet.
Noise.
Get in and get out.
And finally, this is from Karloff. Skip talking about the Cowboys the past few weeks. Yeah, well, you got me. That's Jim Carrey. I think it's liar, liar. It's taken another year off my life the last couple of weeks.
Give up.
But it ain't over yet.
Now it ain't over. 'Cause 2 weeks ago, a week ago, you gave up on them. Now you back in. They done drove you back in.
I told you how that thing works. I divorce, I'm done. You'll be back at that altar.
All right.
You're a fan.
You're a fan. That's the whole right.
Let's talk Baker, as in Baker Mayfield. So now the question looms in Tampa, as in Tampa Baker, exactly how good is Baker Mayfield? His stats this year, believe it or not, across the board, are a little better than Tom Brady's were for the Bucs last season. Bucs have won 4 in a row. So Keyshawn, is Baker proving he is a franchise quarterback worthy of a long-term deal?
See, I like Baker a lot personally.
You almost said love, but then you amended to like. Right?
I helped him prepare for the draft.
Did you?
In the combine and everything. And look, if somebody gives him an opportunity, a chance, like Tampa Bay has, and he goes on and he shows them not just making the playoffs and winning the division in a poor division, but making a couple, beat the Cowboys, for instance, get to the divisional round, then we got a small package for you. Franchise quarterbacks.
As in 3 years?
2 years, 2 looksies, looksy years, because a franchise quarterback to me is 4+, 5+. Ryan Tannehill was a mistake for the Tennessee Titans after Derrick Henry led them to the AFC Championship game. Because a player has shown you flashes, you cannot get so caught up in, he's my franchise guy, I got to get, because it'll be a mistake. You don't want to make a mistake at this position. Once you make a mistake at the quarterback spot, you set the franchise back years on top of years.
See Russell Wilson, go ahead.
And so to answer your question, I think he deserves an opportunity to stay in Tampa, but is that franchise worthy? Do I give him 5+? Franchise quarterbacks, the Aaron Rodgers is, the Patrick Mahomes is, the Josh Allen's. Those are the 4+, 5+ years. I don't think that Baker Mayfield is there because of this. The roller coaster ride starting in Cleveland.
So your conclusion is he is not a franchise quarterback.
I was going to say, my conclusion is he's not a franchise quarterback.
You would not invest long term.
I would not invest super long term. A 2-year look-see deal.
You think he's earned at least another year?
Oh, absolutely. 100,000% he earned another year.
Well, when you look at it from not just the question of is Baker that kind of quarterback, but from the perspective of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and start saying, okay, what are we doing here? Like, from a team standpoint, are you going to go and hit a rebuilding? Because if Baker's not your quarterback and you get rid of him and you're not going to go bring in a young quarterback to put with Mike Evans, who's 31 years old and being the unrestricted free agent, and Chris Godwin, who's 2 more years on his deal. So,
but they've already said they're not bringing Mike Evans back.
Right. Well, no. They couldn't work out a deal with Mike Evans.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Essentially.
But when if Mike Evans hit the market, we don't know what the market's going to bear for him. You see what I mean? I don't know if Mike Evans wanted. But he's 31. Mike Evans, 31, and somebody may say he's up and over the years. And Mike Evans is going to want 30, 35 million right now. That's top receiver money. What if somebody's only offering him 25? You never know. You know what I'm saying? And the team come back in. What I'm saying is, I got something going pretty good with Baker, Mike Evans, and Godwin right now. I don't want to turn all of this away and start over with nothing. Most teams that are going to start over and do some rebuilding, when we started over rebuilding, we got that center masterpiece in Troy Aikman. We watched Houston get that center masterpiece in C.J. Stroud. Carolina thought they had that center masterpiece in Bryce Young. You need that masterpiece that you're going to build around. Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be that for Jacksonville. Who are they going to start with? What are they going to do next year? So, yeah, a franchise quarterback is another word, but a 3-year deal with Baker to kind of get this thing running while I go see if I can find me a franchise guy to build around. And that's what I would be looking to do. And I think it's a good deal for Baker and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And I think, look, Skip, you love Baker Mayfield as a player. You've always thought high of him. So you obviously think he's a franchise player.
I do. Look, this is not because he played at school. I love University of Oklahoma. See my thoughts on Sam Bradford or back to Jason White. I had no use for them. I love Baker's charisma, his leadership.
Me too.
The gamer factor.
That's why I thought he was great.
Teams play hard for him. They enjoy being around him. And yet, I'll be the first to admit, there's some limitations to his ability because he's about 6 feet tall. He's Drew Brees' sort of size. He's got a bigger arm than Drew Brees had, but he's not as consistently precise with his accuracy as Drew. And he will occasionally try some things he should not try.
Understood.
They have fought hard to teach him in Tampa, just live to play another play. If it's not there, just we'll throw it away and we'll do it again. We'll get him next time.
But I don't want, but then just one push on that. That's why it is so important that Mike Evans don't go anywhere if I'm going to keep Baker Mayfield, because he's the first time Baker had this receiver where we used to, don't do it. Oh, okay.
Maybe I will.
Okay, maybe that's the guy that you can throw to in double. So if I don't got Mike Evans, then I can't invest with Baker. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I can't mix that up.
But you can only pick one guy in this situation, because I understand what you're saying. Mike Evans is 31 years old. But if I can give him an average of $30 million a year, 2 to 3 years, he's going to get up out of there. He's going to get up out of there to get his money.
Plus, I think he's not happy that they would not deal with him.
Yeah. I understand.
But we can calm those down. And if you don't get the number you want and we come near another number, you calm that down.
Jerry
I'm just saying.
And Baker has benefited from Mike's contract push. You know, he's trying to show he's playing for his next deal, and it's been a great little marriage that they got going. Okay, great connection. Okay, with Baker, you have to look hard at what he did in Cleveland, because remember, that team was 0-16 when it drafted him first overall. And remember what happened. Hugh Jackson did not start him, started Tyrod, and then in about the third game, Tyrod got hurt, and in comes Baker. He won 7 games for a team that went 0-16. I thought it was sensational. He finished second to Saquon in Rookie of the Year. Okay, then in his third year, when Odell went down, he and Odell never could get on the same page in Cleveland, but Odell went down in a game in Cincinnati, and Baker just took off, went 8-3 down the stretch. They won their first playoff game at Pittsburgh since 1994 for the Browns. He had a QBR of 91 in that game, the big win at Pittsburgh against a division arch rival in a road playoff game. He did that. So, and you look at that stretch, and he was 20 touchdowns to 3 interceptions over that 8-3 run. He was really good. I think he's really good. And then he got hurt his last year in Cleveland. Second game of the year, he fractures his shoulder and tears his labrum. And he tried to tough through it and gut it out, and he was pathetic. And then he went to Carolina, and he was a pathetic.
No, I'm not saying that he it's the long-term situation that I'm hung up on, because I look at the mistakes at the quarterback position that set franchises back. Check Jets box, right? Whether it's Sam Darnold, whether before Sam Darnold it was the kid out of Penn State. I mean, you just draft guys. Now you look at Tennessee. In 2020, they gave Tannehill $118 million. Since then, they drafted 2 quarterbacks.
I was never a Ryan Tannehill fan. He played receiver at Texas A&M.
So it's kind of like, You get Malik Willis now, Will Levis. So you're paying all this money to a guy that you're going to move on from, that you deemed as your franchise quarterback based on the money you gave him. That's a mistake.
The other thing people underrate about Baker Mayfield, he's incredibly clutch to me because in tight games in the fourth quarter, he gets way more accurate. And he's had 2 big games this year that he closed for them. And I saw a stat on the telecast the other day. On 3rd and 4 or less, he's leading the league in conversions.
He's extremely comfortable in spread offenses.
I thought
4 wides, 5 empty. He could.
Lincoln Riley.
I thought he was great, and I thought he was great with Jarvis Landry. Pre-Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, because remember, Jarvis was tearing up the league. I mean, he was breaking Odell Beckham's record on fastest to this number, fastest that number. And Jarvis plays right in front of Baker Mayfield because he did all the short route stuff, everything. And then they brought in Odell, and he tried to feed Odell, and that's when Cleveland got away from him. You know what I mean? I thought if they never brought that in, then maybe it would have been a whole different situation, even in Cleveland. He had gone